Hello, this is Liz Blinn, and I will be reflecting on the topics of culturally responsive teaching and Lasallian thinking as per my discussions with my critical friend Emily Casey. As far as what culturally responsive teaching means to me, I think that one of the most important places to start is an awareness. We need to be aware of the kids we have in our class, and that doesn't just mean as teachers in the context of pedagogy or routine or certain practices, but we need to know our kids. We need to know them. We need to know who they are. Emily and I talked that knowing their cultures of origin, whether that includes language or, a different ethnic background. There's so many characteristics that can fit there. We need to know those things. It's super, super important to know those things because those things will impact how kids learn. But we also need to know them. We need to know them as people and as humans, what they're passionate about, what they like. Because learning is going to stem from there too. Wendy Nelson Kaufman talked a lot about building a rapport with kids and that it needs to be authentic and personal and real right from day one. And that we really need to go in with very clear perspectives and no assumptions. Waldkowski and Ginsberg talked a lot about this, where our own perceptions of kids cannot be what allows us to get to know them, but or how we need to teach them, but we allow them to do that. We allow their uniqueness to impact how we run our classrooms. I think overall it really boils down to this idea and this phrase of to be known is kind of what I landed on. I think we need to let our kids be known, and that includes every single part of them. As far as why culturally responsive teaching is important, I think that if we choose to ignore certain characteristics, cultural characteristics of our kids, then we're kind of ignoring them. We need to acknowledge who they are, every part of them. And I think by doing so, we can learn best how they learn, and then we acknowledge them as students. But I think the people part needs to come first. Waldkowski and Ginsberg talk about teaching being holistic, and they also talk about how emotions do impact motivation. And if we can connect with kids and build that sort of authenticity of relationship, then we will impact their emotions, and by doing so, their motivation, and hopefully then their overall engagement, because the learning and, regardless of what it is, will feel more personal and relevant to them. Culturally responsive teaching does more than just impact, each individual student as an individual. I think collectively it can also really help all learners achieve more. Gloria Ladson-Billings discussed in her video how important it is to allow students to collaborate, and that this is a huge part of the learning process, not just because it's good, interpersonal sort of skills, but because working together, especially from a background of culture, can be an incredible experience as far as communication and learning about one another and how to work together, and then also learning about learning. They do that from each other as much as they do it from us. And so I think that to give kids an opportunity to share their stories, I feel very specifically lucky in this as I teach world geography, to eighth graders. And so my curriculum completely lends itself to this type of topic and content. And this is really how I structure my classroom on a daily basis, or try to at least. But when we can truly let kids work together, both on the topic of culture and on any other topic, we give them an incredible opportunity to learn from one another. And that's memorable, and that will go with them, for a long time. As far as being Lasallian in our teaching, I'm going to be honest, I don't know a lot of the nitty-gritty details about Lasallian education, but one thing I really appreciated about the mission is the word holistic. And I think that teaching is absolutely holistic, and to be culturally responsive means to be holistic in our approach to this profession. I also really liked that the Lasallian focus is on that of helping the disadvantaged, especially kids, especially youth. And I think we all feel the same way, but at the heart of what we do, at the heart of what I do, it's always been about helping kids, really more than anything else. And I think that's the core of these last 2 weeks worth of resources.